Let's talk monologues. You want some material. Well, first of all, what do you want the monologue for? You need to start with that. Is it for an audition? Is it to get an agent? Is it to get into film school? Is it to get into theater? Is it for your reel? Is it just to stretch yourself as an actor and to practice? So what is it that you hope to get out of it? I'm going to start with that. And then thinking of a monologue as one half of a scene. Even a soliloquy, which is something that's given directly to the audience. Or a lot of times we have those confessionals now, like where people talk into the camera as if they're talking to a friend or they're talking to the camera. You're still going to prepare it as you would anything from an actor's point of view. Who am I? What is it that I need and I want? All of those things that go into a scene are still going to happen. If it's to another person and you've perhaps haven't said, don't interrupt me, we don't necessarily know that we're going to be able to speak unabated, that we're going to be able to keep talking without somebody interrupting us. So understanding that there might still be a flow of conversation that would happen that just doesn't. And to that end, if maybe somebody has a line or two in the monologue, there's a couple of things you can do. You can cut those out if that makes sense. You could give that line to somebody off screen. Now, if you're doing a theater audition in person, you can't give that line to somebody else, so maybe that's not the appropriate one. I wouldn't choose something where you're far too young or the wrong ethnicity or that's not for you. If you are 25 years old, you're not going to play Willie Loman, who's at the end of his life and he's got kids that are 25 years old. It's just, you're not going to get out of it what you need to get out of it. I know in high school and maybe in college, we all did that. We played people 20, 30 years older because these are the good roles and these are the ones I want. And for an acting exercise, then I think it's fine, but you're really going to get more out of something that you're right for, because you might not understand what it is to be somebody who's going through a midlife crisis, somebody who's coming to the end of their life. And if you're in your 50s, 60s, you don't want to do something that's set in their 20s, where you're discovering first love or being independent maybe for the first time. So really trying to choose something that's right for you. I like sometimes if I think somebody is a type, maybe they're like a Reese Witherspoon type, then maybe looking at her body of work and seeing if you can find a monologue from something in her career when she was your age. That's a fun way to work as well. I'm not a fan of most monologues that you just find that are standalone on the internet. I like them to be a part of a full script, even if it's a one act. Even if it's a book of monologues by who is writing them as part of a show from a movie, they don't have to be long. Nobody wants to watch your monologue, even if it's fantastic. They're not going to be watching 4 minutes of it. No, thank you. So nice, short, and sweet. Always leave us wanting more. Ooh, what else is going to happen? I can't wait. Maybe I'll ask that actor to do some more. I don't, for the most part, like ones that are particularly emotional, because oftentimes if you're not working with a coach or a director or somebody, they could be overacted. Somebody who wants to show all of the pain that they've got in this monologue, and maybe they just feel like you're gonna think that they don't understand how much pain your character's in. So sometimes it gets a little fraught. And I think choosing something that's a little simpler, or maybe doesn't start in a place of high emotion, maybe gets there at the very end. And along with choosing something that is not a standalone, don't go ask ChatGPT or some AI to write you a monologue. It's gonna be bad, all right? I've seen it, it's so bad. So yes, don't do that. How did I find that out? I've gone looking for suggestions for monologues and then they write you something terrible. And also something that's interesting to you. something that you're excited about, something that you want to work on. Oh, this is a great piece. I'm really excited about this. Maybe you want to show your agent that you can do something that you haven't done before. So maybe it's a monologue where you want to explore the character's sexuality, and you've been a child actor and you've never had an opportunity to do that. That might be a good reason to pick up a monologue from something that's a little more mature than maybe something you've approached in the past. Maybe you want to be a tougher person or a softer person, but don't ever forget the preparation. To really understand, to go in there and do your work as an actor and have you enjoy that process. Acting doesn't need to be painful, even though any of my students will tell you, I'm always saying, where's the pain? You need to be in more pain, bring the pain. But as an exercise while you're doing it, finding the fun and the joy in this process of putting on another character and exploring that person's life for a little while. So a recap, why do you want the monologue? Who are you? What do you want to get out of it? And are you enjoying the process? And if you come to the studio, I will give you some suggestions. Monologues, wonderful. These are one of these things that you can do on your own, that you can practice. You can set up the camera and you can sit down and you can do it. And then you can go back and you can watch it and you can go, oh, that was interesting. I didn't realize I did that or did this. If you find yourself acting, knock it off. I wouldn't choose a monologue that's very iconic. If you're doing A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. Everybody's going to be thinking about Jack Nicholson. If you're doing the Emma Stone monologue from La La Land, which I know a lot of people do, why invite the comparison when it's already been done really well? Sometimes things fall out of favor. I've seen people do the monologues from Network, which are unbelievable. But again, you can shorten them, you can change them a little bit if it makes sense to, right? If it's just for yourself. I'm not telling you to go and change Aaron Sorkin's words. But again, don't choose anything where people aren't thinking about you or the character. They're thinking about the actor that they most associate with that role. Let me know if there's a monologue you love to do. Maybe if you don't want anybody to steal it, you can talk in code. Let me know if there's a resource that you love to use for getting monologues or something that I haven't mentioned in this. And I will see you next week. If I left anything out from monologues. Oh, I did leave something out. Anything about any of the auditions. Oh, right. I think you're going to get out without any bloopers.